folks, Stewart here from Drone Film Guide. Check out my new vlogging camera. Very smooth, stabilised gimbal, nice crisp picture, autofocus, auto exposure if you want it. Have you guessed what it is yet? Yes, of course you have. The clue was in the title. It's the Mavic Mini. Now obviously this Mavic Mini isn't a substitute for a serious professional camera if you want to get into some serious vlogging, but I tell you what is serious vlogging? I've never really cracked vlogging, to be honest with you, because my arm gets tired holding out this £2,000 camera in front of me. I just find it a pain that I don't have good autofocus on this camera despite it being so expensive. So you're faffing around with focus. So what is good vlogging? Good vlogging is something that's practical, speedy to use, efficient, and cheap as well, doesn't hurt, small, all these kind of things come into consideration. It's completely different from setting up a camera in a studio. So what have we got here? We have a gimbal stabilised 2.7K camera. It even has a little gimbal handle in the form of this leg. Just be careful, it's quite fragile. Let me put this on to record so you can see what's filming me now. Look at that, it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's got that slightly camcordery look to it. I'm going to dial down the exposure there a little bit. I think it's a little bit bright. I've got these really strong highlights on my face there. So let's just dial down the exposure, hit the auto exposure lock. Check out our other video on that if you're not sure what that's all about. And there we go. Vlogging in paradise. What do you think? Gimbal stabilised. Let's take a walk. So let's think again about what makes a good vlogging camera. Well, it's got to be portable. By definition, you're out vlogging, aren't you? So you don't want some enormous camera. Well, I think it's fair to say that the Mavic Mini is fairly portable, 249 grams. Yep, I would say that box is ticked. And that's the big one for me, because when I've done vlogging in the past, it's been with my Panasonic GH5. It's quite heavy. Now, I have to say, it's not as heavy as the cameras that some of the big superstars here on YouTube use for their vlogging to get those lovely shots. Those things weigh kilograms. That's not for me. So it's light, portable. Yes, it's portable, it's tiny, you can fit it in your pocket. So another box ticked. What else have we got here? Multifunctional. Not only is it a vlogging camera, it's a drone. I don't think we can really argue too much with that so far. These are pretty massive factors. Now, there's no microphone on this. We need a microphone for vlogging. I'm using a Tascam DR10 little lapel mic, independent sound recorder that I will then sync up with the video footage here when I get it back into Final Cut Pro. That Tascam costs about £200 here in the UK, so it's hardly a budget option. But think about it, you have a phone or a tablet that you're using to control your Mavic Mini, so you need that anyway. So why don't you just plug the headphones that you get for that, and if it's got the little microphone, you know, for hands-free phone calls, use that. You can get a free sound recorder on your phone, set that up to record, and then you're good to go. You're going to have to sync them in post, which just means matching your video and your audio file, but that's not too bad, and that's a small price to pay for having this tremendously practical and portable setup. Let's talk about some of the filmmaking practicalities of vlogging, autofocus and auto exposure. Well, my Panasonic GH5 is kind of renowned for not having very good autofocus, and that's a bit of a pain when it comes to vlogging, especially if you're using lenses with low f-stops, so shallow depth of field. Here we have full autofocus. It's a bit like using a phone or a GoPro or something, so you don't need to worry about the focus changing. If I move off to the side there and just show you that, show you the landscape and then come back to myself, focus is all good. So that's pretty cool. Talk about auto exposure. Let's just spin round for a second. I've got this set to auto exposure. Now, if you saw one of my other videos, I'll explain when you're flying with a drone, you really don't want auto exposure. You don't want to see those exposure shifts. But right now the sun is behind me, so I need that exposure to change. If I'm going to have a practical vlogging setup, as I turn around, the sun hits my face, the exposure changes. It's really practical, really cool. So I don't know about you, but I am sold on the idea of this Mavic Mini as a vlogging camera. I think it's great. Get yourself rigged up with an external microphone, sync it in post, and you are good to go. Don't forget to grab yourself a copy of our ebook From Drone Zero to Drone Hero. It's free, there's a link in the description below 37 tips to get you flying like a filmmaker. Lots of other Mavic Mini content here on the channel, as I'm sure lots of you have seen. Lots more to come, so stay tuned for further content here on Drone Film Guide.